In the realm of matter and spirit, some offerings are snares dressed in ribbons and presented with smiles. The ancient wisdom keepers understood a truth that modern society has forgotten. Not all gifts are benign. Some arrive not wrapped in love, but cloaked in intention, to bind, to distract, to defile, to control. And if you fail to discern their source and purpose, you may unknowingly anchor a curse to your life that follows through generations. In ceremonial magic, we learn this fundamental principle. Every object holds charge. Every item is a vessel. Some vessels carry light, others shadow. The discerning eye recognizes the difference not through mere appearance, but through subtle resonance that speaks to those attentive enough to listen. The deceiver does not always appear with sulfur and flame or announce his presence with thunder. He wears politeness like a comfortable coat. He cloaks his works in generosity. His gifts arrive in birthday wrapping, in thoughtful hand-me-downs, in tokens meant to make peace or reconnect. Yet beneath the veneer of kindness resides contract. In the unseen realms, acceptance is alignment. When you receive, you create agreement. When you display, you demonstrate allegiance. If you feel the weight of this truth resonating within your spirit, subscribe for more videos unmasking the subtle works of darkness that permeate our world. Let's walk this path of ancient wisdom together, reclaiming the discernment our ancestors once possessed. Section 1 Clothes and Ornaments. The first gift you must never accept: clothing or jewelry from someone entangled with strange spirits or corrupt beliefs. This warning extends beyond the obvious hexed amulet to the seemingly innocent scarf, the vintage dress, the family heirloom ring passed through troubled hands. A ring, a robe, a bracelet, a watch. These are not neutral objects floating through existence untouched by their wearers. The practiced magician knows garments absorb influence. They retain aura. They become living extensions of those who owned them. In Acts 19, cloth carried healing from Paul's touch. So too can cloth carry malice from a defiled hand. Consider the ancient practice of consecration. In every mystery tradition across cultures, vestments were purified before ritual use precisely because fabric remembers. It holds energetic imprints. When you wear another's clothing, you wear their energetic signature. When you adorn yourself with their jewelry, you place their vibration against your skin, your most vulnerable boundary. I've personally encountered talismans sewn into fabric, hidden in hems, concealed in seams. I've cleansed necklaces steeped in lunar rites that caused the wearer emotional instability with each full moon. One particular ring passed to me by a client caused nightly visitations, dark shadows at the foot of the bed, until it was broken, burned and cast in salt water under the midday sun. The wise practitioner must ask before receiving any wearable item: who touched this? What was spoken over it? What ceremonies marked its creation? Was it worn during times of immense suffering, rage, or spiritual rebellion? The answers matter more than the material value. Even mainstream fashion now incorporates occult symbolism, pentagrams, the evil eye, horned deities, often without understanding. These are not merely designs, they are invocations. In the realm of magic, images carry power. They speak, they summon, they bridge. Before accepting clothing or jewelry, hold it in your hands. Close your eyes. What do you feel? Heaviness, lightness, warmth, chill. Your intuition, that God-given discernment, often recognizes what your logical mind dismisses. Section 2. Scented spells. Second, beware oils, perfumes, or incense given to you by those who follow strange doctrines or mystical cults. These aromatic offerings deserve special scrutiny, for they bypass the rational mind and speak directly to your limbic system, the ancient emotional brain that governs instinct. These are more than mere fragrances designed for pleasure. In every esoteric tradition, scent is understood as a spiritual vehicle. The very word perfume contains its secret, perfumum, through smoke. It is the bridge between worlds. Some oils and incenses are consecrated to altars you do not see. Blood rites, moon chants, enchantments sealed by spirits unnamed and unnumbered. The ancient temples used specific scents to invoke specific entities. This knowledge persists in modern occult circles. You spray it or anoint yourself thinking it's empowerment or simple adornment, but it's influence. Your sleep patterns change. Your behavior shifts subtly. Your dreams intensify. You open unknowingly a portal through which impressions, entities, and energies may pass. Consider the history. Priestesses of Aphrodite created love-drawing perfumes. Egyptian embalmers used specific scent formulas to guide souls to the afterlife. Native shamans burned particular herbs to call specific spirit helpers. These practices continue today, often disguised as natural wellness or aromatherapy. I once counseled a woman who received a handcrafted essential oil blend from a co-worker. Within weeks of using it, she experienced increasing paranoia, night terrors, and a persistent sense of being watched. Upon investigation, we discovered the gift giver participated in devotional rites to entities that feed on fear. The oil, applied to pulse points, had become the tether. Always ask yourself, was this made in a factory or in a circle? Was it blended with intention? By whose authority was it consecrated? What words were spoken over it during creation? The most dangerous scents are often the most alluring. Trust the subtle warning when something smells too perfect or creates an instant overwhelming attraction. In magic, this is called glamour, an enchantment designed to override discernment. Section 3. The Peace Offering. Third, never accept a peace gift from someone who once warred against you spiritually. This warning extends to those who betrayed your trust, worked against your highest good, or deliberately entangled you in spiritual corruption. Reconciliation, in the occult understanding, is often ritual disguised as sentiment. The gift represents more than material value. It reestablishes connection, spiritual cords that were severed through your breakthrough into freedom. They say, "I'm sorry," with present in hand, but in truth, they offer a binding, a bribe to reestablish. Influence. The Bible warns with profound insight. Though they speak with charm, don't trust them, for malice hides within. Proverbs 26:24. The gift becomes the Trojan horse through which old patterns re-enter your life. True spiritual maturity means you can forgive completely, without reattaching energetically. You can wish someone well from a distance. You can release resentment, without resuming relationship. When the wrong heart gives, the gift becomes not blessing but leash, a gilded chain connecting you once more. I've witnessed peace gifts that carried profound spiritual consequences. A beautiful handmade quilt that brought night paralysis to its receiver. An expensive watch that seemed to slow the wearer's progress in life. A painting that, once hung, coincided with increasing household conflict. The mechanics are simple yet profound. Objects can be programmed with intention. When given with ulterior motive, they create alignment between giver and receiver. The more valuable or meaningful the gift, the stronger the bond created. This is why ancient traditions warn against receiving gifts from enemies. They understood the hidden exchange. Before accepting a reconciliation gift, ask yourself, has true transformation occurred in this person? Do they acknowledge the specific harm done? Or is this gift a substitute for genuine change? Does something within you hesitate? That hesitation is often divine protection speaking through intuition. Remember, forgiveness is mandatory for the believer. Restoration of relationship is not. You can release someone from spiritual debt without inviting them back into your inner circle. The gift may be beautiful, but the hidden cost may be your hard-won freedom. Section 4. Artifacts and idols. Fourth, avoid foreign statues, tribal art, and ancestral relics whose origins are shrouded in sacrifice or veneration of entities other than the Most High. This caution extends to vacation souvenirs, antique, collectibles, and cultural artifacts acquired without understanding their spiritual significance. In ceremonial magic, we deliberately consecrate objects for intelligent inhabitation. to house spirits, to become vessels of particular energies or entities. This practice is not unique to Western esoteric traditions. So do countless other traditions across the globe. That mask from the tropical vacation, that statue from the Asian market, that cultural souvenir acquired for its aesthetic appeal, it may be a forgotten God's image. It may carry the imprint of rites involving blood sacrifice, ancestral invocation, or spirit alignment. Deuteronomy provides this warning with stark clarity. Do not bring a detestable thing into your house, or you will be set apart for destruction like it. Utterly abhor and detest it, for it is set apart for destruction. Purge the altar, no matter how artistically valuable it may appear. Objects used in worship absorb the energy of that worship. Items present during sacrifice, animal or otherwise, retain the resonance of that offering. Ceremonial tools carry the imprint of every ritual they've participated in. This is not superstition. It is spiritual physics. I once helped a family experiencing inexplicable phenomena. Shadow figures seen peripherally, children speaking of the watching people, increasing conflict and illness. The source? An antique fertility statue purchased during African travels, displayed prominently as authentic cultural art. Upon research, we discovered it came from a region where such statues were fed with blood to empower them as guardians. The disturbances ceased immediately upon its removal. Another client collected folk art saints from various Central American traditions, without recognizing many represented not Catholic saints, but syncretized deities requiring specific devotion. His increasing depression lifted when these items were removed from his home. The innocent explorer sees an interesting cultural artifact. The spiritual warrior recognizes an altarpiece designed for veneration. The naive collector sees an artistic expression. The discerning eye recognizes a ritual tool crafted for specific ceremonial purpose. Before displaying artifacts from other spiritual traditions, research their true purpose and use. Was the item created for decoration or devotion? Was it present during ritual activity? Does it represent a deity or spirit? Even replicas created with specific intent can carry the resonance of what they represent. Section 5. Currency with strings. 5th. Never accept money or valuable gifts tied to guilt, control, or spiritual manipulation. These material offerings often represent the most insidious form of cursed giving, because they appeal to our need for provision and security. Some gifts are not gifts at all. They are contracts disguised as generosity. The sorcerer doesn't always cast spells with wands and incantations. Sometimes he buys your allegiance through strategic giving. A cursed benefactor sows financially into your life to own it, to direct it, to claim authority over your choices. In the Solomonic grimoires and other magical texts, this dynamic is called a pact, not with ink signature on parchment, but with the subtler gesture of giving and receiving. With acceptance comes obligation, spoken or unspoken. The mechanics reveal themselves in the aftermath. After receiving financial help, you feel inexplicable difficulty saying no to the giver. You find yourself compromising values you once held firm. You sense an invisible debt that normal gratitude cannot satisfy. These are the hallmarks of financial binding. I've counseled ministers who accepted generous donations from parishioners, only to discover these gifts came with unspoken expectations of influence. I've worked with artists who received patronage. That gradually transformed into ownership of their creative expression. I've seen families torn apart by inheritances designed to control from beyond the grave. Money itself is neutral. It is energy made tangible. But like all energy, it can be programmed with intention. When given with manipulative purpose, financial gifts become golden handcuffs, invisible leashes, or spiritual entanglements that restrict authentic growth and obedience to divine guidance. Before accepting significant financial gifts, ask yourself, what is truly being purchased here? Does this generosity feel clean and clear? Does the giver demonstrate respect for boundaries in other areas? Does something within you contract when considering accepting? That contraction often signals wisdom. Scripture warns about the borrower becoming servant to the lender, a principle that extends beyond formal loans to any financial giving designed to create dependency. True giving releases without expectation of return. Manipulative giving maintains invisible strings of control. Which of these gifts have you encountered before? Have you ever sensed something wasn't right? Felt a heaviness, a shift, a silence in your spirit when receiving something that appeared innocent? Share your experience in the comments below. You're not alone in these encounters, and your testimony may help others develop their own discernment. Conclusion: the path to cleansing. You are not paranoid to question what enters your life through the gateway of giving. You are not ungrateful to examine gifts with spiritual discernment. You are perceptive. You are chosen to guard your gates, the portals through which influence enters your existence. The battle for your spirit often begins with what you willingly receive. What seems like rejection of kindness may actually be protection of purpose. What appears as suspicion may be sacred boundaries working as designed. I invite you now to a sacred practice of examination and cleansing. Go systematically through your space, your jewelry box, your bookshelf, your keepsakes and mementos, your clothing, even your digital files and images. Hold each item physically or focus on it mentally. Ask aloud with authority. What spirit do you serve? Were you sent in light or in shadow? Do you align with my highest purpose? Place your hands on the object. Close your eyes. Feel the energy. Trust your first impression. Light represents truth. Heaviness often signals deception. Warmth indicates alignment. Cold suggests opposition. Peace confirms. Anxiety warns. Let the presence of the divine, through your sincere prayer, through consecrated salt, through purifying fire, through anointing oil applied with intention, reclaim your sanctuary from every corrupted gift. Some items can be cleansed and repurposed. Others must be permanently removed. For items that cannot be cleansed, that bear corruption too deeply embedded, destroy them utterly. Break them beyond repair. Burn what can be burned. Bury what must be buried. Release them completely from your possession and authority. The wise spiritual practitioner knows this truth. The most dangerous curse is the one that was welcomed in with gratitude, displayed with pride, or worn with pleasure. The most effective spiritual warfare is not battling what breaks through your walls, but recognizing what you've invited through your gates. Let this be the hour your discernment awakens to new sensitivity. May your home become clean of every corrupted gift. May your altar burn pure with offerings that honor truth alone. May no cursed gift find rest in your house again. And may the gifts you give to others carry only blessing, freedom, and light. In the name of the highest, by the wisdom of the Ancient of Days and through the authority of the eternal light, so be it now and forevermore.